Okay, so I am halfway through your book, Nick, and I bought it myself, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think you've done a great job because someone had to say it, and I can imagine that you are probably getting a lot of flack from your colleagues and friends or former friends, but I think it's a very brave thing that you've done. One of the things that really winds me up about the left elite in this country is the knee-jerk anti-Americanism. I lived most of my life in the Soviet Union under the communist system. And for me, the idea that American and British systems are the greatest evil in the world is, frankly speaking, laughable. So Deborah asked for examples when the left are betraying their liberal principles. So the discussion today focused mostly around the Iraq War and Muslims in this country, etc. I want to give a different example. I am Ukrainian. 2004, the run-up to the Orange Revolution in Ukraine. I am a Guardian reader, yeah? So I am reading one article by Jonathan Steele after another article by Jonathan Steele about the events, about what's happening in Ukraine in the run-up to the elections that are winding me up, because I could see that he was not doing his journalistic job, because he perceived at the time that the whole thing was orchestrated somehow by the United States. Then I happened to be working in Ukraine, although I've lived in this country since 1992, just on the day when it all started. And it was an absolutely amazing thing. I know Ukraine and Ukrainians pretty well. I know that they are not the people who go to the barricades like this, you know. One of the best-known Ukrainian sayings is, "My house is at the end of the village and I don't want to know anything." So for Ukrainian people to actually go out en masse, in these freezing temperatures, it was something completely unprecedented for my country. And people really made themselves proud, because for the first time they went out to defend their dignity. They wanted to have free and fair elections. And the authorities, the corrupt regime, was treating them like dirt. And then, I turn on my computer, say 2 days into the Orange Revolution, go to the Guardian website, and I can see another article by Jonathan Steele saying, of course, it's all arranged by the United States. And I'm sorry, I would very much like to believe that all these old, little Ukrainian grannies who were spending the last kopecks from their miserable pension were getting these kopecks from CIA. But it was not true. And you see, people were defending things that people in this country, including Jonathan Steele, are taking for granted. Just the right to fair and free elections. Yeah. And the left media, yes, but it was published in the liberal media, and there were quite a few articles actually saying that.
It's very funny you should say that. I mean, Steele, I just regard as a lover of totalitarian, really. Whatever system, anything these days. But, I mean, a funny thing you should say about the Orange Revolution. I didn't get it in my book, but something that got me going on, forget about the far left or the far right, whatever you want to call them these days. The liberal mainstream, there's a phrase I heard from, I think it was a BBC correspondent, it might have been a newspaper correspondent, I could never find it, but this disillusion among the liberal mainstream with democracy. I heard some journalists, not an extremist at all, looking at those crowds in Kiev and saying, unlike us, they haven't learned how bad democracy is. And I thought, you silly, spoilt, stupid man. But that actually set me off on the whole thing of the book, just listening. And I wish I could find it. I've searched. We've got newspaper libraries at the Observer, and you can put in phrases, and I couldn't find it. It just haunted me ever since, that sentence. And I thought, dear God, there's something going really badly wrong. Anyway.
The word spoiled is spot on. That's the word that comes to my mind.